I'm back and I am going to do a tutorial on how to create these booklets out of cardstock. So I had done a video, first of all, the 49 and Market mystery box. I did an opening of that box or revealed what was in it, and then I also made 2 projects from it. And in the comments, I asked if anybody would like me to show them how to put these together, and they did. So we are going to put these together today. So stick around and we'll dive into it. All right, so I'm back today with a tutorial on how to make these 2 booklets. The other day I had opened a 49 and Market mystery box, which was a lot of fun. You might want to check that out. And I revealed what's inside. So if you want to do the mystery box and you're afraid you'll get the same one, then, maybe don't watch it till after you open yours. But anyway, the next day I made 2 projects out of it. And it wasn't actually this one. The actual one I shipped to my mother because it's for her birthday card. But anyway, so I made another 6x6 to show you how this one turns out. Anyway, I had said in there that if you wanted me to show you how to make these, to comment, and someone did. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little tutorial on how to put these together. Now, before we start, anytime I have a concept for a mini album or a booklet, whether I'm going to use chipboard or cardstock, I like to do a little template out of plain copy paper. So just cheap copy paper, and you can, you don't feel like you're wasting anything. And then the leftovers, what I do is I make scrap booklets so that I can, like little sketches, or I can take notes if I have a phone call, those kind of things. You could give it to your kids or grandkids to put stickers on. That way there's no waste. And I just haven't stapled. Usually I staple along the edge, and I haven't done that yet. So anyway, I create these little templates to make sure it's going to work out. And so we'll do our 6x6 first. And so you'll need 4 6x6 sheets. And so we're going to go through all this, but I just want to show you how the template works if you want to play around and come up with your own ideas or combinations. So then, I score it just the way I will whenever I make the album, and make sure everything fits together and that the scores work and so forth. So that is how I do my little templates. And I have also one before I put together the 8x6 one. So for our 8x6 one here, we'll need 5 8x6 sheets. And then, this will be your cover. And then when you open them, I score them exactly the way I will whenever I do my album, and just make sure it all fits together and makes sense. And so that's just like a little tip if you want to try to, come up with your own little concepts. I even do it with like my interactive mini albums. So if you want to have a waterfall, you can test that out. Okay. Now to get into this project, so we'll do the 6x6 first. And as I said, I created one out of my 49 and Market, and these are the 49 and Market sheets also. But the one that I made for that video, I sent to my mother for her birthday. And so today I went ahead and created a new one. And this is using just one 12x12 cardstock. This one, I'll just run it through it briefly. This is pretty funny. I sewed these ribbons on because these little clips that came in the kit, they're too small to put, more than one ribbon or lace through it. So I thought, well, I made like a little head, and then I thought, well, I'll sew it on, and that was pretty comical. So I probably should have made a video of that, me trying to figure out how to sew this on, but finally I got it. So we'll just remove our clip. That kind of holds it together because it got rather thick. But I made this a little spring fever one, and where I got the some of the images and things from was from my own book that I sell on Amazon. So it is the Spring Fever. And actually, I don't have my main book with me. Hang on one second. Here we go. So this is the 8.5 by 11 book. I sell several of these where they are junk journal books, and what you would do, and has the instructions in there, but these pages fold in half to make a junk journal. And then it's got some of the ephemera in there and little half pages and you know, cutouts too. You can fussy cut. So the way that one turned out, this is one I put together, and then I like to put cloth or fabric covers on them. And I'll just run through this one real quick. I did a video on creating this and on putting the fabric covers on. So see how these have those like little half pages? But if someone doesn't want to make a junk journal out of these, they could also just use the images in different projects. And that's what I have done here. So I took this from the cover, so it's a little bit stronger. And then some of the other pieces I cut out as we go through. But yeah, so this lady, I thought the ladies from that book just kind of blend in with this paper like they were made for it. That's why I decided to use my Spring Fever on this project. Then I put one of the clips from that mystery box on here. I did a variation. So the one that I made for my mother, I actually glued this down as a pocket here. But this, I didn't want to hide that hummingbird. See if I would have glued that down as a pocket. So I left it as a flap. And that's a nice thing about these books. You can vary them however you want, whatever works for you. And then we have another lady from that book. Welcome Spring. And then a little pocket. So we're going to make pockets in ours. And I just put a little tag in there. Oh, and I did ink all of this with the blue ink. And then we have Hello May, let's bloom together. And again, one of those ladies. I just love how they blend into that background like they were made for it. So that's what we're going to create, something similar. It's different papers, but you can create this from any 12 by 12 cardstock, or if you have 6 by 6 already, you can just use that. Okay, so for the 6 by 6, we're going to take a 12 by 12 paper and cut it in fourths. But you could, I know there are 6 by 6 papers on the market. So if you had those, you wouldn't have to do any cutting. They would just be ready, of course. So with this one, and I know a lot of paper companies, there's a little extra piece on here, so we need to cut that off so that we are 12 by 12. So I've got my trimmer here. Just line it up. Oh, looks like it has to move down just a smidgen to cut that off completely. Okay. Because we want to cut this little piece off here. And I have found with this trimmer, it helps if I go back, bring it down here and start this way so it has a little bit of momentum. Okay, so we cut that strip off and, darn. Okay. Okay, and then so you can actually, I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of these, you can then use part of that strip. We've got Happy, Today, and Friends. So it's kind of cute. This is one I cut off of another one recently. Okay, now we're going to cut it at 6 this way. Get it lined up. Okay, so we're going to do 6 inches this way. So now we have 2 6 by 12 pieces, of course, and then we're going to cut them in half this way. That's 6. These are just such gorgeous papers, aren't they? Gorgeous. Okay. And then another. Put this one in half, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so of course now we have 4 6x6 papers. And I can set my trimmer aside till we're ready to, well, actually I should leave it out because we're going to need to score. So going back to our template, or we could follow along with the other booklet too. But the first one, we want to choose our cover. And I think for the one with my mother, I chose this one as the cover because I kind of like something a little busier for the cover. But if you like to decorate your covers a lot, you might want to start with something plain, and that gives you a lot of room to put a title and flowers and things like that. But I think I'm going to use the print to help me along with my cover. And then this one, maybe the plainer one next. And then this one, and then the other plain one. Okay, so now that we know which one we want for our cover, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep them angled for you. We know that we need to, for our cover, we need to score it at 1/2 inch. So let's do that now. And we want the 1/2 inch because we want it to fold in. So we want the 1/2 inch over here. And I have found, like, I have a bone folder and scorer that came with this. This is, We Are Memory Keepers. But I find if I go too deep, it actually like cuts the paper. So I use, this is a little bit more benign, kind of rounder, and sometimes it doesn't score enough, but at least it doesn't cut through. So anyway, we want to go to our 1/2 inch mark. See, sometimes it does that, it slips out. And I think it's because it's not as pointy and doesn't fit down into the groove. There we go. Okay, so we've got that score, and then we're going to want to fold it inward. And if you fold it the wrong way, it really doesn't matter. You can just fold it back. It's not like it's going to harm anything. And we'll just give it a nice little crisp edge there. So we've got our cover, and now our next piece, we're going to want it to fold. We want it to go inside like that. Okay, so we don't need to score the edge, the 1/2 inch edge. It's going to fit into this 1/2 inch, but we do need to score it at 2 inches. So we want it to fold in this way. So we're going to do our 2 inch over here on this side. So we're just going to score down 2 inches and then fold that inward. Little crisp edge there. And I like to make all my pieces and then glue them together, but you can certainly glue as you go along. But this is just how I like to do them, gather them all, and then come back and put them together. Okay, and then our next piece, so we've done our cover, we've done our piece that's going to fit in there, number 2. So now number 3, we need to score a 1/2 inch, and that's going to fold in this way. And we need to score 2 inches. That's going to be our pocket. And again, you can make a pocket or a flap the way I did with the other one. So let's score this. Oh, so pretty. So we're going to score the inner edge at a 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we're going to fold over here, or not fold, we're going to score over here at 2 inches. Okay, So we know that we want this fold to go this way. Our 1/2 inch fold, we want to go this way. And then our 2 inch fold, we want to go this way. I almost did it wrong, but again, it would not matter because you could just refold it, or you can even have it like that, you know. I'm going to make a pretty short page, but anyway, you can just create it as you want. This just gives you the concepts of, you know, scoring it at a 1/2 inch so they go together, 2 inch for a pocket or a flap, and you can just do it however you want, whatever works best for your purposes. And you'll find you'll start playing more and more with that. So there's our page number 3. And so page number 4, that's 2. Okay, so page number 4 is just going to be a 1/2 inch tab that's going to fold in. All right. Easy peasy, right? So 1/2 inch here. And then we're going to fold that in. Okay, so now we can move our cutter till we get to the next booklet. And all we have to do now is glue. So I've kept my pages in order. I need to take this one and glue it in here. And I work on this. This is like a little square that I use. I put on my countertop so I don't get glue all over my countertop. Plus, it's prettier, more neutral to kind of film on, so I like to use that. But don't feel like I'm going to get glue on my countertop. I'm not. And usually I like to have a paper towel with me. Grab a paper towel. Because sometimes we have extra glue, right? I really hope my hair is not getting in the filming today, because I didn't fix it. I feel like it's down in my eyes and everything else. So I think I told you, fabric tack, Beacon fabric tack. That is my favorite when it's something you really want to stick and stay. So we're just going to put that flat edge in there, line it up. And I like using glue because that's a little more forgiving and you can move things around till it's fastened down. I used to use, I used to make a lot, probably, I don't know, 15 years ago, I used to make a ton of chipboard albums, all sizes and shapes, and I would use that red sticky tape. I don't even remember what the name of it is. I have some still. But then once it's down. You're not moving it. So I kind of now like to use this a little more forgiving. Then I am going to glue this down to make a pocket, but again, you could leave it loose like I did on my other one if you had something here that you didn't want to cover up. So we're just going to glue that. I'll get a little extra glue there up. And hold them down. Okay. Yep. See, a little extra glue there. Put some pressure, it's not wanting to stay. All right, so then we're going to take our next piece number 3. We're up to 3 already. This tab is going to get glued down to there. So that's what we're going to do next, is glue that onto there. But I hope you can see that, you can just make this your own, once you get the concept, and you can just put it together however you want. Now, what I do here, so I'll go ahead and put that in. Again, like I said, I'm glad I'm using glue. I like to pick it up and make sure, because the most important thing here is that our edges are together, you know, nice and flush, which I don't know that they are. Yeah, there we go. So we want to make sure our edges are nice and flush together. Okay, so that's that. And then I would definitely glue this down because there's nothing interesting there. What I like about the way, and like I was just playing around and this turned out like this. So we got tiers here. So, you know, like this is a little bit shorter because we had to fold the 1/2 inch here. So that made that shorter than this one when we didn't have to fold a 1/2 inch. So I love that little stair step there. That's just me. Okay. And then I'm gonna make a pocket out of this one. I didn't put any on the other side. I think that was the problem the last time. Glue on glue wasn't doing too good. This is going to be pretty to decorate too. Okay, and then now we're down to page number 4, our last one, and that's just going to get glued down to there like that. And we've got our booklet. So how easy was that? And then the fun part, at least the fun part for me, is decorating them and layering all those pieces. Oh, so fun. All right. Oh, losing everything. All right. Well, they say out of everything I lost, I miss my mind the most. Okay, we'll just make sure all of these pieces are even and lined up, but they're not perfect. Remember, it's handmade, so there's no perfection in handmade. If there's ever even really any perfection on earth, I don't know. Okay. So now we have our booklet. We got a pocket there. Got that pretty page. We got a pocket here. And we got that pretty page. Ready to decorate. All right, do you want to do the 6x8? So we will do, this was the 6x8 album. And for this one, I'm going to use, I actually had a different set of 6x8s from that kit. I'm sorry, the mystery box. I keep saying kit. It's not really a kit because, you know, it's not like everything was planned together to make one project, but many gorgeous things that do coordinate together. So I selected these blue. These are from the Blue Ocean collection. And I've got 5 of these because we need 5 for this project. You wouldn't have to. I mean, you can use as many pages as you want. You could just keep overlapping them by doing your 1/2 inch, you know, fold. So you don't have to do them just 4 or 5, you know. I like doing the 4 for the 6x6 because that way you use just one 12x12. So, like we said, we need our cover. So let's figure out which one for the cover. And I was thinking, well, that's pretty too. Oh, that actually goes that way because of how the butterfly is. Oh, that one does too. Okay. So either one of these, that might make more sense because you could have something down, you know, with that down in the corner there. What else do I have upside down? I got a lot of them upside down. Okay. Well, probably all of them because I was going to have them facing me. All right. So, yeah, let's do this. Let's do, well, that's pretty too, is the cover. Let's do this as the cover. There's page number 2. Let's make page number 3 kind of plain. Page number 3, page number 4, and page number 5. I'm really debating between that one or that one as the cover. Wow, they're pretty. Very pretty papers. Like I said, I've really been into blues lately. Let's do this one as the cover. All right, so let's get our, we don't need to trim anything. We just need to score this time. Oh, I'm having so much trouble getting everything sorted here. So we're just going to be using the scoring part. So page number 1, our cover. Same thing. It's just going to have the 1/2 inch right here. And even with this being larger paper, the 1/2 inch still works just fine. So we want it to go, it really looks like this could go either way. I want it like that. So we'll do the 1/2 inch here. Let's get our 1/2 inch. Score down there. Okay. We want it to fold in because that's going to be our front. So there's page number 1. Now page number 2 is going to be, it's going to fit down in like, remember how the other one did. So page number 2, you don't need that 1/2 inch. It's going to fit on that like a little hinge. We just need to do our 2 inch for the pocket. So I'm going to probably, I think I'm going to flip it around this way. Yep. And then we'll do our 2 inch here. Okay, so then that's going to go inward like that. You could make that a smaller pocket. It probably wouldn't hold much though if you did that, if you wanted more of that to show. But again, oh gosh, look how pretty that is. You could make, I think I'm going to leave that a flap. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one a flap. That's page number 2. And you can just decide as you go, you know, and then you can always glue it down if you want to. Now 3 is going to be the same thing. We're going to have our 1/2 inch here. Now on the other one, I have flipped it over, but you could have it inward so you have 2 pockets together, or you could have it like that. And again, after you put it together, or, you know, before you glue it, but when you are looking at it, you can always change. But for this one, this is how I did the booklet. I did the 1/2 inch here. And then I did the 2 inch. So I can either turn it around or I could go to 4. Just go to 4. All right. So we've got our 1/2 inch that we're going to fold in. This is really, I don't know what this weight is. It's at least 130. I think it's more than 130. I guess, I don't know if it says anywhere, but this is really thick cardstock. And then this, I can find my score. There it is. Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe I do need to use my other scorer because this is so thick that my bone folder is not scoring it deep enough. Okay, we're going to have to score this piece again. Okay, 2 inches. Okay, hopefully that'll do it this time. But normally, this one is plenty for regular cardstock or paper. Okay, so we got page number 3. Page number 3. Then we've got page number 4, which is going to be a 1/2 inch just inward, and page number 5, same thing. So 4 and 5 are just going to be 1/2 inch on the edge. So page number 4. See? Okay. I'm going to take it back and I'm going to start using my other one. In fact, let me get it now. This is the bone folder that came with this trimmer. You see, I was off. So it definitely goes down in the groove better because it was made to go down in there. And I don't think I have the problem with it or cutting through it like I do on some papers. Okay, so that's our page number 4. And then page number 5. Okay, much easier that way. Sorry, I didn't start out that way. I've just kind of trained myself not to use this one so it doesn't cut through. All right, so page 5, page 4, page 3. Well, it's actually going to go that way, and page 3. Page 2 and page 1. So let's go ahead and glue these together. So this is our cover. And now you can so you could do this way. How did I do it on this one? Let me see. I do it all different ways every time. But on this one, so yes, my pocket went in that way, and then I had a pocket here. But I'm wondering, how about if because they don't have to be exact, the same. So what if we did this way? No, that's a lot of plain there, isn't it? I was thinking if I did that way. And then I was thinking if I put this one on here, and then we'd have, when you opened it, you'd have pockets on each side. Okay. That makes that really plain over there. I think I'm going to go this way, so that's not so plain. Well, I thought I would have planned ahead a little bit. We could have done it that way. I just don't want all that plain blue, although that gives you more room to decorate and embellish. Okay, this goes up against here. I think it's easier this way. There we go. we have all of our pages together. Just give it a little burnish there. And let's look at it here. We've got our pretty cover to decorate. And then inside we've got this flap. And I would again use some type of clip. Like on here, on this one, I didn't want to put that flap down, so I used this little clip to hold it down. So that's what I would do, is I would just get some type of fastener that is removable, and you could even have ribbons on it, and then that, hold that down. And then buggers. I don't care for this, and I am so sorry. Here I am showing you how to make it. But we've got our pocket here, and then we've got page number 4 and page number 5. So all ready to embellish and add photos and notes and all kinds of goodies. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.